Okay. Let's get started.
Excuse me.
Yes.
I have a laptop. Do I need to go and get it?
Yes, you can. Yeah. It's better to have one. Yeah.
And so that way you can practice also.
Yeah, you can practice. You can follow Jose. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first Friday learning event presented by the Marketing and Business Analytics Students Organization at Texas A&M University Commerce. My name is Bo Han. I'm the faculty advisor of this organization. I want to welcome everyone to join in today's learning event. I also want to welcome the online students to join in our event on Google Hangouts. Tonight we will talk about SQL, the structured query language. Yeah, some people call a structured query language SQL. So in the future, we will call the same, SQL. First, I want to introduce the first Friday learning event to everybody. Why do we want to organize such a workshop? We will meet in the day or on campus on the first Friday month. The purpose of First Friday is to introduce the latest important business analytics technique and skills to our members. We want to help our members to prepare themselves for the upcoming job opportunities and the internship interviews. This is the main purpose of First Friday. During every semester, we will find one topic. In this semester, right? Next semester, we'll find another skills. Yeah. This is the purpose of First Friday. In every First Friday learning event, we'll invite one student organization member to present to everyone, yeah, online and on campus. This event will also be brought. So if you are an online student, I also welcome you to join in the learning events on the first Friday of every month. Tonight we'll talk about the introduction to SQL. Jose will be the presenter. Jose is currently the Master of Science in Business Analytics student at Texas A&M University Commerce. Everyone, please welcome Jose. He will present. He will present SQL, and also he will show everyone some example projects, so you can follow him to work on the database management in MySQL workbench. Please welcome Jose.
Hey guys online, if y'all have any questions, feel free to ask me so I can refer you to more, to the link. How do I show them the link for the people online?
Not yet.
Not yet?
Yeah,
okay.
You can introduce the SQL first.
Okay, so I can start. Let me go to the PowerPoint so we can begin.
Share the screen.
Is it already sharing?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
Go back. The first one, yeah. And then click on here, and then click the first button.
The full screen?
Yeah. And then click start screen share. Now you can minimize this one.
Minimize it?
Yeah. And then go back to the button. Yeah, that's great.
Well, today's going to be an introduction on databases. We're going to focus in, we're going to eventually focus more on the SQL language, which is also called SQL. Let's begin. We're focusing on relational database systems. There are multiple kinds of relational database systems. There's open source relational databases and vendor, from different vendors. So you have Microsoft SQL Server, you have Oracle, you have IBM DB2, which is also from a vendor. But these same vendors have open source versions also. They'll be smaller. We'll have certain things that If you want to buy the actual subscription it has more things on it, but the open source has, for those vendors, it has less things. But there's also others that are purely open source, such as MySQL, Postgres, SQLite. There's 2 that are localized, which which is pretty much they don't have to connect to a server. So that's SQLite and that's Access. Let's see. Also, it depends. Like for example, the organization will choose their relational database depending on their strengths and depending on what they're going to use it for, because each relational database has their own strengths and weaknesses. So it just depends on the organization that we would be working at. So all of these relational databases are able to use, you can, as a user, can use the SQL language. Open source projects, they'll accept the mainstream commands, but for something more specific, you would have to consult the actual materials for that open source project or vendor. But for the most part, the more mainstream things are accepted by all different database, all the relational databases. It's pretty much there's a standard that's okay. There's the standard for SQL, but some of these relational database organized companies they'll follow it strictly or loosely. So, for example, on MySQL, there's some things where you could actually, they're more lenient on certain things, but in others they're more strict. They'll follow the actual SQL guidelines. Let's see.
Don't be nervous.
Okay, let me.
This is just
for relational databases, you have primary key and foreign key. On the primary key, it's unique characteristics within that column, so you can't have any null values. Be single, there's the actual primary key, and for single, it's just one column that makes up the primary key. So reiterate that the primary key cannot have any null values whatsoever. And then you have the foreign key, which references another primary key from another table. Let's see. Relationship. So an example would be, for example, here in the U.S., you have Social Security numbers that belong. One number belongs to one individual U.S. national, and that U.S. citizen, national can only have one Social Security number. So that would be one example for a one-to-one relationship. Then for a one-to-many, an example could be gender and people. So one person can only be of one gender, but if you have a group of people, it can consist of more than one gender. It could be male or female. So that's an example of one-to-many. Then for many-to-many, an example was author and books. One author can write multiple books, and one book can be actually written by multiple people. So that's an example of many-to-many relationship. In our presentation, this table, this group of tables, but for example, on the customer table, on the customer ID, that's the primary key. And then for the invoice table, you have the invoice number, that's the primary key, but the customer number is a foreign key because it's referencing the customer ID. Let's see. Then on the invoice item table, you have two, for example, the invoice number and the item number is a composite key. Those are referencing the other tables. Let's let's see. So each column is also called an attribute, and each row is also called a tuple. And this leads us to the actual discussion of our presentation. So you have 4 basic commands. You have select, which refers to a column. You have from, which references a table. And for example, in order to bring a column, it has to be from that specific table. We can't reference a column from another table. And for example, let's say we have a table that has first name and second name, last name, and we have another table that has customer ID and invoice number. So when we're doing the commands, we can't have select first name from the invoice table. So it has to be very specific. It has to be referencing from where that column came from. Then, for example, we have order by, which allows you to order numeric, quantitative data by sending values or descending values. And then you also have the where clause, the where command, which allows you to put constraints that you want. For example, if you have, let's see, a column with item, let me go back, with the cost of items, and you want exactly an item that costs $100, then you would have to put the where clause to reference it. Then I'll get to it in a minute.
But then before you move forward, could you talk about the difference between primary key and the foreign key?
Oh, okay.
What is the entity relationship with that? Can you talk about the concepts?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let me go back to the primary key. Okay, so we have the primary key, which is a set of unique items within a column. Then you have the foreign key, which is referencing a primary key from another table. Let me go back to the common key. Also, let me see. Like I said before, the primary key cannot have any null values. Null meaning not known for the at this moment. Yeah, it has to be, the primary key has to be unique characteristics, unique information within that column.
So for instance, if you want to build an e-commerce website, then basically if a new customer sign up on your website, you should give this particular customer a unique customer ID. Then this customer ID will be the primary, right? In order to differentiate who is the sign up, right?
Yeah, for example, if you have a table with social security numbers and you want to make that information private, you'll assign each social security number a unique ID, so that way the people that are running the queries don't have access to that information, but it's being referenced at another table that only select people can have access to it. So that way it's that private information is being very anonymized, and so that primary key is going to each unique person, but that makes it unique for that table. Okay. Let's see. So I think we can start. Okay. So for example, for select, to retrieve a column, you would use select, but you have to be specific. You can't just put select first name and not do anything else. You have to include the from command, so that way you can reference which table that first name is under. So for example, let's see, we have a table with a primary, column with last name, and that's in under the customer table. So in order to choose that column, we have to say select last name, then from. Okay, where is it at? So you have to do from the customer table. So you'll just put in the actual name of the table, not put customer table, just depending on the name of the table. Then to, oh, I think it's easier once I start doing it on the MySQL thing.
Let the members to download your example.
Okay.
You can introduce the purpose of the example, what the database is for, and then we can follow the next steps to work on our.
Have y'all downloaded the files?
Everybody should have installed the
Oh, okay.
MySQL database software, right? I think we haven't installed the example database.
Oh, okay.
File. So everybody please go to the web address on the board. You can download the link from tinyurl.com/SQL CH124. Example database file. Proceed prepared for it. It will show the steps how to select data in this example. So please download this file, and then we'll move on.
I could also type in the website over here for the online people so they can write it down.
Yes.
For the people online, I'm going to type in the website where you can find the files. So if you could go to that website, and you'll find that the files that we'll be using are uploaded there. It does take a while to get those scripts in if it's the first time, because when I first did it on Monday, I was having an issue getting it up to MySQL because I wasn't familiar with that before then. So if you have any questions, I can go around and help you. Or
has everybody downloaded the file? Can you find this file? On Google Drive, right? Please download this Google Drive. You will see on your screen, on the top of the screen, you will see an upside down arrow. That is the download arrow. Please download the file onto your computer. And then the database file, example files, are inside of the folder.
oh,
Has everyone downloaded the file already?
Screencast it, or is this going to, or is that to be?
Oh, this one will be.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This one is only for classroom.
Okay, so that's only for classroom.
Yeah.
And the people online will see this.
Yeah.
But okay.
Please download the example file. Download tinyurl.com/SQL CH1.
No one's talking. I was talking if they had any questions. So.
Okay.
So no one. Okay. Okay. Oh, where did it say empty? Here it said watching.
Because they are not logging in. They can only view the video without signing in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I'll just go back to the workbench.
Yeah. This shows the member how to import data into
Okay.
the database.
So once we have the script, okay. How can we turn that? Let me see. How can I exit that? Can't see my cursor. Oh,
Because it's here. It's
I need database. So that way I can go from the beginning of uploading the scripts.
yeah. Before that, let me turn off the PowerPoint.
Oh,
Yeah.
So that
Now,
way-
now you can show both. So everybody
but
has
it's not.
downloaded.
I mean, it's not showing through.
Okay. Let's wait for a moment. I want to make sure that everybody has downloaded the example.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Right?
we all able to download it. Oh, okay. Somehow it's stuck on that screen. That's it.
Hmm.
Could it be something from there?
I think we need to.
Exit out things or
No, we need to show both display. Right.
play out. So
Jose, it's ready. It's ready.
Okay, so for the select column, and for the select.
This,
Oh, yeah, we have to do that first. Okay. Let's see. Let's here create new schema. Let's call it Marsha 2. Or no, let's do chapter 1, 2, 4.
The name is Flex. Right? Can you see the same screen? No? Jose, could you show where you opened this?
I haven't opened it. Let me see. I went over here, create new schema.
Do you have the same screen?
So once you have the files, you click. Oh, once you have the files, you'll go over here where it says open on the second button. First, you have to do the create tables, and you'll dump in, make sure, insert data. Then you go to execute. I'm having issues right now. Let me try it again. Let's see, apply. Oh, I have to reconnect. Oh, okay. So when you start creating a database, this is what's going to show. Because a while ago, I wasn't connected to the localized database.
Could you start from the beginning so everyone
Okay.
can follow?
I was having issues also over here because I wasn't connected, then I had to reconnect it.
Okay.
I'm just trying to see if
You
it's
can-
actually
you can
activated.
close- If you want to reconnect, you can close the software. Yeah, and then restart.
Okay. What is that? What do I
Could
do?
you start? All programs? Oh, yeah.
No, it's not open. Not open yet.
I think your computer is a little
Slow.
slow. Yeah.
Pretty much. There it's going.
So everybody, please see Jose's step. If you open the MySQL database server, the first step you want to do is to make the local instance. This will be the database installed on your software, right? In the installation guide, I showed everyone that when you install this software, you have to copy a password. password belongs to you. Only you know the password. Data are very sensitive, right? In the future, if you work for a consulting company, then you will process a lot of accounting information, financial information. So everybody will set up a password in order to get into the database. Yeah. This is for the security password. MySQL database is not like Microsoft Access or Excel. Everyone who gets the file and open it, create it, right? Database is very secure. So this is the key feature. Click the local instance and then have the password be set up. You can look at.
So if you click this one over here, interface. This little symbol there, you'll be able to start creating the schema. And you'll have this this box come up.
A schema is a collection of data files under your account. So once you log in, your username, let's say your username is TMUC data user. And then all the data files, databases you created under TMUC data user will be a schema.
Is everyone at this point, or?
Oh, you can.
Okay. So once you've actually created a schema, you can go over here on the second to the, or the second button. You'll click this icon. Then you'll be able to upload the scripts. So you'll put this create tables script. Then you'll do the thing again where it says insert data. Let's see. Then we'll. Okay. So then we can go over here. Hopefully it's activated now. And just test it out. For some reason, it's not pulling up. I don't know what I did wrong.
Actually, you can use.
Because once I created a new schema,
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm missing on the buttons. I've already uploaded the create table script and the insert data script, but now I don't know what's going on. I'll have to read. It's coming up with these errors,
Okay.
so I don't know.
Yours should be under Markdown, right? New schema.
Because I created a new one to show everyone how to do it.
Oh, okay. You can go back to Markdown.
Okay. Well, what if?
Yes, because we are trying to create a new schema, but Jose was actually using schema called Markdown, a username called Markdown. Yeah. Let's see Jose's steps first, and then we'll talk about it.
Okay, let me just test it out to see if it's working.
As you can see in this example, once you log in the database, you must use the right.
Okay, this one's working.
You cannot access to other people's data files under other people's user accounts. As you can see in database, the data management is very organized. It's not like in Excel file, right? You can freely modify anything without logging in. In database, if you log into your account, you cannot modify other people's data file without the authorization.
Okay, so for example, we were covering before select. So that is referring to the actual column. Let's see, we'll put select, and then if you want to choose all the rows from that column, you put the asterisk sign. Then, for example, it's coming from, let's do the customer table. From customer, then we'll go over here to execute it. And you have all the different columns from this particular table. And if you want to get one individual column, for example, if we wanted first name, we'll just type in first name because that's the name of the actual column from this table. And we'll click over here to execute it. So it's only going to show us the first names. So if we wanted to do, let me go from the beginning over here so we can practice.
Yeah, will you type in select the star from customer?
Select star. So the asterisk the asterisk means that you want all of the different columns within this particular table. So we'll use from, because from is referencing that table.
From where, right?
From which particular location.
Yeah.
So you'll type in, let's say, one of the tables name is called customer.
Yeah.
So then we'll go over here to the lightning bolt. You click it, and you have all the different columns within this particular table.
Yeah. Let's talk about this comment first.
Okay.
I was talking to a member. He said, oh, so SQL is very similar to the language we speak every day. Yes, SQL is very user-friendly. That's why it is broadly used in business analytics, right? In this case, we want to use the select. The function of select comment is to pull data from the existing table. So if you want to take a sneak peek about a new data table, you don't know the table structure. You don't know what's inside of the table. What are the columns? Then you can use select function. Yeah, remember this one, select. In the future, if you want to change data, you can use update.
So were you able to get on?
Yeah, another function, right? If you want to delete data, then you use delete. So as the number said, it's very business analyst friendly, right? It's very easy to remember these major functions. So here, could you type in from?
Okay, so there's another table called invoice. So if we want to get all that, retrieve all of the columns from that particular table, we would have to put from, then invoice.
Perfect.
Then once you click it, it's going to retrieve all the columns from that particular table.
You can save
So
all the data information inside of invoice. So when you want to multiply, look at the data inside of a table or multiply the information inside of a table. After the major comment, select, update, or delete, and then you want to type in the column you want to multiply. And asterisk, as you can see in this case, a star represents all columns. I don't want to select a particular column from this table. I want to take a look at all the columns available in this table. Next to it, we have a from, right? From keyword. As the name implies to everyone, from means next to from, you want to identify from which table you want to look at who data from, right? Everything you can see in blue will be the keywords specified by SQL. You must use the same keywords. You cannot change anything in blue. Anything in black means you have freedom to change them. Yeah, you can change according to your own needs. Yeah.
So for example, select, from, where, order by, those are already specified by the SQL standard, and those are reserved. So you can actually, if you want, you can make it all caps or you can make it all lowercase. It still recognizes it. So once you start going more in depth, there'll be times when you may use a keyword, but then there's other steps to follow to make it where it's not what you meant with a reserved word. But that's later down on the road when we start going over that.
Would you like to try select a star?
Okay, let's say there's other tables. There's 3 tables in all. You have the customer table. Let me just minimize this so we can see all. So within this this schema, we have the customer table, the invoice table, and the invoice item table. So if we want to select everything within the invoice item, what do we have to do? I mean, let me delete it so it's more interactive.
Let's focus on this one. Yeah. Let's focus on it. Yeah. Because I think our experience is also what it is. Yeah.
Okay, so let's say we want the invoice item. We want to select everything from the invoice item table. What do we have to do? Select star. Okay, let's type in select star. Then what do we have to type in? From. From is going to allow us to specify which table we want it from. So then the invoice item was the table that we wanted. So we have to type in exactly how it's written on the left-hand side margin. Let's see. So because if you don't type it in correctly, it's not going to bring up anything. So let's do that. So I'll put invoice item like that. Nothing's going to happen because it's not, you're not referencing it as how it's being referenced on the left-hand side margin. So it's very specific. You have to type what it shows on the left-hand side. So let's do it again. So we'll type in invoice underscore item. Then we'll press the lightning bolt. Then we'll have all of the different columns from that specific table. So
Here, Jose separated the comment into 2 lines, right? This is only these quick points.
yeah, you can actually do it like this also.
Yeah.
And it still does the same thing. So, it depends if you want if you want all the reserved keywords in one, one column, so it's visual, it's easier for you to see what you're doing. That's good. If you want to type it in one single row, that's fine also. It's up to you. It's something preference, pretty much. So like I said before, let me do it again. So if you wanted, these reserved words will actually, if you do select in caps, it's still going to recognize as a reserved word. We'll do the same thing that we did before. And if I put from all caps, let's do the same table, invoice. As you can see, it's going to do the same thing. So it doesn't matter if it's lowercase or all caps. So with the asterisk, it's going to pull up a whole, all of the different columns within that specific table. So now if we want to be more specific, we can add, after the select function, the specific name of the column. So let's say for the invoice item, we want to select the column with the name of item number. You have to type it as the same way as it's shown below. So let's do item number. Then we have to specify where it's located. So it's from, and then invoice underscore item. Now we execute it. It's only going to show us the item number. And if we want to get, let's see, for example, from the customer number, from the customer table, we have these columns, the names of these columns over here under the customer table. So we can do, if we wanted the first name of a particular client, we can go back and do select. We type in the name of the column that we want. So we'll do first name. And then we'll put from. It's under the customer table. We can't put, if we do, for example, if we typed in invoice, then execute it, nothing's going to happen because there's nothing in that particular table that has that particular name of that column. So it's very specific. You have to specify exactly where that particular column is at. So you have to type in customer, because that's the name of the table that that column is under. Then we'll execute over here. So that way you can see the first name. So if we wanted the last name, we'll do the same. As you can see on the left-hand side margin, you have the customer ID column, the first name column, the last name column, the phone column, and the email column. So let's say we wanted to know the names, the last name of a particular client. So we have to do select and type in the name of the column. Let's say last name. Then we have to specify where it's at. So it's under the customer table. So we'll put from customer. Then we'll push this button over here. We'll have all the last names of the clients that's under, that are listed underneath this column in this table. Okay, if you want multiple columns, this is what you do. Let me go from the beginning so we can practice. So we'll do select. We want, let's say, the first name and last name of the clients in this table. So we'll do first name. Then, did I spell incorrectly? Yeah. First name and comma, then last name. So that's going to bring up the first name column and the last name column. And we have to specify where it's at. So from customer, then we push this lightning rod over here. So it's going to bring up the first name and last name. So if we wanted let's say 3 columns. So we'll do select. Let's say we wanted the first name, last name, and the email of these clients. So we'll do select first name, comma, last name, comma, email. And we'll put from this table, so it's customer. Then we execute it. Or what did I do? First name. Oh, okay. So I misspelled. See, if you don't spell it correctly, it's not going to bring it up. So when you type in the columns, it's going to list it as you typed it. We can interchange it. We'll put, let's say your boss wants the last name, then the first name, and the email. So we can just type in that. We'll switch that, switch up the order. Let me just delete the whole thing so we can start from the beginning. So the boss wants the last name, followed by the first name, and followed by the email. So you'll put select, then last name, comma, first name, comma, email. Then you'll put the from, then that specific table. So it's called customer. So we'll push this button over here. So we'll get last name and first name, then email. So as you type it in after the select command, that's what it's going to list once you get the results. So let's say, let's do it from another table so we can do some more practice. Let's say we want okay, what would we do if okay, the boss wants us to do to get the date in, date out, and the total amount. What do we have to do? What are the steps? I mean, so what do we do? I mean, what do we do first? Select. Wait. So we'll do select, and then speak louder. So okay, so let's say they want a date in. Okay, so date in. Then you put comma. Date out. Okay. Then from where? Do we put from customer or do we put from invoice? Okay, because this particular information is out of the invoice column, not column, but invoice table. So okay, what if let's see. What if you want information from two different tables? Let's do some examples. We can combine the first name, last name from the customer table and get how much they paid, you know, the total amount from the invoice table. So we'll do select okay. Talk louder so everyone can hear you. Okay, customer. First name. Last name. So as y'all saw, you have to reference both tables. So let me break it down so it's much more visible here. Let me see. Okay, so the only thing. Wait, do you have any questions? I mean, I want to make it much more interactive among among everyone here. So. Okay. Okay, so select, then what do we do? First name, do we do comma, last, well, I haven't, let me just stop there. So we'll actually, push it over here. So we'll do, see, the first name and last name, that's coming from the customer table. Then the total amount is coming from the invoice table. So you just put the comma, and you can retrieve different columns from different tables as long as you just specify. If you don't include invoice over here, it's not going to bring the total amount. See, nothing happens. So you have to, it's very specific. So if you delete this, you'll just bring up, wait, what's going on? Customer. So let's do another example. Let's see, what do we do if we wanted the first name, and the last name, and the customer number? What do we have to do? Wait, let me make this over here, this column smaller so we can all see more. Is that a better view? Okay, so we need, the boss wants the first name, the last name, and the customer ID. What do we have to do? Oh, you have to specify, right? The customer number. So you want the first name, the last name, and the customer number. What do we have to type in? Select. Wait, it's not typing. So select first name, comma, last name, comma, customer number, and then from customer invoice. Then what do we have to click? Okay, so we can retrieve multiple columns as long as we specify where those columns are at. And as we said before, if you don't include the specific location, let's say we didn't include invoice, it's not going to work. So it's very, very specific. So that's good to to remember that if we leave something off, that's what's going to happen. There won't be any results. Okay, so how do y'all feel right now about select and from? I repeat the last part.
If you have like a table that's right, and then you type in the column, and it's different table, and you put in the column which are similar, and you add to that connect what results function. Like for example, here, if you have the first name in customer as well as invoice.
Oh, I think those columns from different tables would be specified very, very directly, I think. Let me see.
Okay, so if you have two different tables and if the column name is same, like if you have a customer ID in table, say customer name, and if you have a customer ID, say table transaction. So in that case, when you have to retrieve data from both the tables, you will give the command select first table name, that is customer ID, comma transaction, that is the table, another table name dot column name, that is the customer ID, from both the table names, that is the customer, comma transaction. Okay, so this will retrieve the data from two different tables at the same time if you have the same column ID.
So, it's good. All these different columns are very specific. Yeah. How can I put it? Okay. But how do y'all feel about select and from right now? Is there anything we need to add, or could we go to the next section? Well, next section. Okay. Let's see. Let me go back to PowerPoint. Okay, so we covered all of the different steps over here. Different methods. Okay, so how would we retrieve all? We've already done that. Okay, let's say the supervisor wants us to retrieve the invoice number and the customer number for him to review recent transactions. How would we accomplish this? So let me pull up. Okay, invoice number was under. Let me see. So the invoice number was under this, what's the name of this table? I think that's invoice item. Wait, so, okay, invoice number and customer number. Let me go to the workbench so it's visible. So you want what? Invoice number and customer. What's the customer number? Okay, so what do we do? Select customer number. Then there was invoice number, right? What do we have to do? Comma, invoice number. What do we have to do now? From. So the customer number column is under which one? Invoice, as we can see on the left-hand side. Okay, so we'll put invoice. Then what do we do? So the invoice number is also under this table, so we'll just press what? Okay, let me go back to the PowerPoint just to see if there's any other questions. Oh, okay. So, for example, you want to modify how it appears on your query. For example, let's say first name is all, there's no spaces, but you want to present it to someone else with those spaces in between. So you'll have to go to Workbench. Okay, so let me just minimize this one over here. Okay, so y'all can see there's no spaces, right? Okay, what do we have to do? We first put select, and then we'll put the name of that column as it's shown on the left-hand side, the first name. But now, to modify how it's going to appear on the result grid, we have to type in as, and then you'll put in you'll put the name of the symbol. Okay, you'll put the symbol, then you'll type in apostrophe. No, not apostrophe. It's the the double quotes. Then you'll put space name. Nothing happened. Oh, see, I'm forgetting something. See, like if we just did this, nothing happens, right? So you have to then put from. So where's it at? The first name, customer table, right? Then, see, we get a space in between. But what if we wanted, for some reason, to make it all caps? We'll do similar thing. Let's do it from the beginning so we can practice. So we'll put select, and we'll modify first name. So we'll put in the actual name of the column, first name. Wait, am I mistyping first name? Okay, so to modify the name on the result grid, you have to type in as. See, did y'all see it turn blue? That's one of the reserved words. So then you can put the double quotes and then type in, let's see, we wanted it all caps just as an example. The first name and double quotes. Then we have to remember to put in where it's coming from, which table. So from customer. Then we'll put the bolt. So as y'all can see, we can modify. It's not actually modifying how it's entered within schema, but it's only modifying it on the result grid that you'll present it to someone else. So we can do another example. Let's say for any reason you wanted to change the total amount to make it seen as total price, we can do the same thing. So what do we have to do? Okay, we'll start from the beginning. So what do we type in first? Select, and we wanted to modify the total amount, right? So we put in the actual column name, total amount. As you can see, as I'm typing in, it's already recognizing that I may want this particular column. So I'll just put enter. Then to modify the name of it, what do we type in? As. Then what do we do? Okay. So then let's say we wanted it to be called total price on the result grid. What do we have to do? Total price. Then double quotes. Then we have to type in from invoice. Then, as you can see, it's only going to modify the result grid. It's not going to modify the actual column within the schema. So that's just for presentation. If you're going to present it to someone else, you can change the name of the column. So let me go back. Let's do another example. Let's say you wanted to change how, let's see, invoice item. Okay, someone give an example. How can you put it? Which, let's say, remember to have customer than the actual symbol. What do we have to do? So let's, for example, customer number. Let's just say we wanted to, for any reason, to modify it on the result grid to have the symbol, the number symbol. So what do we have to do? Select, then customer number, the name of the column. Then what do we have to do? As customer where's that? Then what do we have to do? From, and it's under the invoice. So as you can see, as long as we type in as, we'll be able to change the name of that column on the results side presentation. So let's go, let me see what else we can do. So how do y'all feel about the as keyword? Oh, like when I was, at first it wasn't, let me see. First, okay, MySQL's somewhat, so let me go back to show y'all what I mean. So I could type in customer number, but it's recognizing. See, so on MySQL it's lenient, but let's just try to remember to put those double quotes because, as you can see over here, when I type in number, if I just type in number, it's recognizing a keyword, and it's not working. So always remember to put that double quote next to the first and last term that you're wanting to modify. So you put the double quotes. That way now it's not recognizing it as a keyword, and you can execute it and make it appear like that. So we have to get in the habit of making it including the double quotes, so that way we don't have any potential errors as if it's going to recognize it as a keyword. Let's see. Okay, let's do an example. The best way to learn SQL is by practicing. The more we practice, the better we get at it. So how would we change the name of item to clothing when it appears in our query? So let's go back to the workbench. So we're wanting to from the item to clothing. So let's remember where's the item. The item column is under invoice item, and I'm going to change how it appears. So what do we have to do first? As, then double quotes, and we wanted to make it appear. So we'll type in what? Clothing. Then we'll remember to put the double quotes. Then where was item located? Okay, so from. So it was under invoice item. Okay, so we'll type in invoice underscore item. So then we'll execute it. So as you can see, we're able to present it not as item, but as clothing. Okay. Many times when you have a large data set, you'll have repeating information. So the distinct keyword is very vital, and it's not going to repeating information. Let's say we have a customer. We have 3 customers with the name of with the last name of Miller, and we only want to see that last name repeated once. So we would have to use the distinct. So let me. Okay. So I mean, we'll get to the workbench real quick, but so we'll put select. Then after select, we have to put in distinct. Then we'll put the name of the column that we want to use. We have to type in from that particular table. So here's an example that I did previously, and we'll do it here in the next couple minutes, seconds. So we put, for example, on the left-hand side, you see Betsy under the first name is repeated twice over here and over here. Okay, but we only want to see Betsy once. So we'll type in select. Okay, in this situation, we had last name and first name. Okay, so we'll type in select. Okay, this was the example before. Okay, so that's the initial where we had select first name, last name from customer. Okay, as you can see, we have Betsy, but we have to filter out. For example, if we want it only, with no repetitions. So then, to modify that, we have to do select distinct first name from customer. So as you can see, it's only going to bring back repeating twice or 3 times or 4 times or 100 times. So we have to use the distinct after select. Then the column that we're going to use, then where that column is under. So let's go to the workbench so we can practice. So let's see. How many more names were repeated? Oh, for example, on that data set, let me go to it. Let's show how it is before. Last name from customer. What's going on? Okay, so without doing distinct, we get one Miller, two Millers, another Miller, and another Miller. We get 4 result grid. But we want to, in this example, we want to have only Miller mentioned once. So we have to go back in between select and last name. We have to type in distinct. Did I misspell it? Yeah. Okay. So if we type in distinct after select, it's going to bring unique names under this column from this table. So we're not going to have Miller repeated more than once. So as you can see, we only get back Miller once. Let me remember if there's any other examples from other columns. Let me go back to the PowerPoint so you can see that. Okay. For example, under the invoice, we have repeated more than one. You can see. Okay. So under the item column, we have blouse mentioned once, twice, 3 times. Okay. So blouse is mentioned 3 times under the item column within the invoice item table. So let's go back to Workbench. So what do we have to do? Select distinct item from, and the people with, okay, underscore item. So it's only going to bring us last. We'll take off the distinct so y'all can see on the Workbench. So we'll have select an item from invoice item. So on the Workbench you can see, well, let me make this over here. So for example, blouse is over here, and blouse is another blouse is over here, and another blouse over here. So that's without the distinct. Without the distinct, it's going to bring back multiple rows that should have the same, value. So in this sense, the blouse is repeating more than once. So in order to take out that repetition, you have to type in select distinct. Then we have blouse only mentioned once. Do you have any questions at the moment? Do you want to do another example of distinct? Let's see. Let me try to remember columns had more than.
I have a question.
Okay.
So as you said, like distinct, and we are using a distinct command. Like suppose we have a first name and last. We are applying the distinct command on the first name, and there are two. Suppose there are 2 people with the same name.
Okay.
So out of which particular name will it show?
Let me see. Let's do over here so we can. Was for example, let me see. Let me make sure we have an example like that so we can try to do it over here. Because I know on this particular data set we had a Miller repeated more than once.
Yeah. So out of these, which one it has shown?
Oh, good question. Let's do it over here. Pretty much. Okay, before we weren't putting multiple columns, so let's do that and test it out. So select distinct. You put let's see, first name. Okay.
Because the customer will be unique, right? In this example, they are all unique.
The only thing that was repeating was the last name, but let's try to find an example that does that so we can test it out. I'm trying to remember which table had repeating information on both columns. Let me go back to the PowerPoint so we can see the table. So I think the date in, date out would be an example. Let me try to see. So you have October 4th and October 6th over here. Okay, let's test it out. So under the, okay, the date in and date out is under the invoice table. Let's test it out. So select distinct date in. Okay, if we type in both columns, it's going to only bring back non-repeating information from those two columns. So let's see. Let me just. Okay, so right now, if you type in those two columns, it's only going to bring back non-repeating dates. But what if we only want to apply it? Your question was only applying it to one. Let me see. Date in.
So what we want to say is pick up. We have a date in and then comma pick up. This will grant all the data records, right?
Yeah. But her question was only applying distinct to one column.
Right. You can try this one and then you can try the again.
Okay, so without the October 4th being repeated more than once, and October 6th, being repeated more than once also.
To see this more clearly, you can add the invoice number.
Okay, so the invoice number was the primary key.
Or another one. Yeah.
My question was, whenever you run a distinct command, out of, if you have a four similar entries, which one it will show? This was my question.
Yeah, I mean how to only apply to certain columns.
Yes, even if you apply to certain columns, you can apply to, like, suppose you have a total amount of data and you want maximum of listing of total amount. When you combine all these queries, what it does is the first one which it counts, it will first give you that. So that was my question. When we are facing an interview, they will ask us the question like, if you apply a listing command, which data it will exactly do? I mean, there are two customers with a similar name, and then you give it listing command. How we are sure which data exactly is going to. So it will pull the first entry in the table.
Okay. No. Trying to see.
First record in the data.
So let's test it out. So yeah, this distinct is only being applied to, wait, what did we do?
In this case, you can another column to replace the invoice number. Maybe quantity.
Okay. Oh, total amount. We'll just put total amount for this example because quantity wasn't under the invoice table. That's being repeated. Let's test it. Let's see.
So, you have total amount present in invoice, so this should work. So, it is being paid in
Let me see. So select, let's say rating.
comma, paid out total amount, and then this is so much.
For some reason, it's still.
You can remove date in, only click date out, and then click on remove column, yeah. And then click. No, because the total amount is removed, right?
Let's see.
So we cannot see what Ariane
What would be a, let's see.
should be the result should be the first one. If you meet the first unique value that qualifies all the metrics, all the standards, then stop there and then start looking for the next one.
I'm trying to see if there's an example that we could use because it's better to see it in practice.
Yeah, which one will show up for it? Yeah. Should be the first one. Yeah, wherever it's on top of the will show up. Okay.
Let me just test this out real quick. Okay, for example, over here, I don't know if it's, let me do this. Thing is, we don't have an example that's being.
Looks like we have like
Oh, an email. Oh, I'm not in my Gmail account, but I can access it over here. I mean, so that way I'm not getting it. Okay. How can I? Oh. Okay, for example, in this data set, we have Miller being repeated more than once, although it's 3 different Millers, you know, first name Millers. Wait.
You can look at the first one and then see which one show up first.
Let's see, let me put up. Okay, for example, in the customer table, we had 1, 2, 3, 4 Millers. So we had Betsy, George, Katie, and Betsy. So Betsy.
You can see the 4th entry Betsy Miller and 7th entry Betsy Miller is similar. So it is shown only one Betsy.
Only one Betsy.
Yeah. So if you add a phone number as well.
Okay.
And that you will get to know exactly which Betsy Miller it has.
If you add a phone number, because the phone number type. So this thing will apply to the unique phone number.
Someone has linked this customer ID.
Okay.
From a last name. So you show the first last name.
Customer ID, comma, last name. So from, okay, from where? Customer, okay, customer. Okay, so the primary key is a customer ID. So, that's what's identifying.
Because you are applying system on customer ID.
Okay.
So what you do, you apply instinct on last name. Yeah. And remove now run it.
The order was really that one. I think Kalyani, your question has a very good application. You can detect if you record the same customer twice. In those cases, you can apply Kalyani something. Since we already recorded the data factory, so we cannot.
Sorry, could we?
Yes, so basically when the command runs, there is a first entry.
Yeah, we can
Okay,
Okay. We'll get back to practicing on the distinct on those specific cases. Okay, so after distinct, we have order by. This is where we can actually be more specific. Let's say we want only amounts that are greater than 50. Wait, let's see. Oh, no, the order by is going to be descending or ascending. Okay, so so for this, let's go over here so it's much more hands-on. Okay, so for example, in the customers you have, you know, they start with different letters, obviously. So if we put ascending, it's going to go from A to Z, or if we put descending, it's going to be from Z to A. So let's do an example. Let's do, let's see. Let me just show, for example, select first name. Everyone can see online. From misspelled. All right. So for example, right now, there's no. It's not being in any order of any descending or ascending order. So in order to do that, we have to put the order by. So okay, we want to select first names from. When we type in order by, and once we type that in, we have to be, if we wanted from A to Z, we'll type in ASC. Oh.
Which column we want to order?
Yeah. Okay. I forgot about that. Okay. Order by. Right. So, like I said before, SQL is very specific. If you don't remember, like I didn't remember right now, type in what we wanted. Like for example, we wanted the first name to be from A to Z. You know, right now I forgot to put in first name. Nothing happened. Let me do it again so y'all can see. Just by doing order by ascending, it's not going to work. See, it's very, you know, this SQL is very, very specific. So we have to type in which column we wanted it to be from ascending order. We'll type in first name, then it's Betsy to Nikki. So let's just say we wanted first name from Z to A. So let's just type it from the beginning. So we'll do select first name. Oh, we can do, so we can all see. Okay, let's do select asterisk from, let's do customer table. So right now it's by the primary key, but let's just say we wanted a alphabetized last name. So we'll do, what are we going to do? Order by. Now what do we do? Last name. And then, oh, we can do ascending. See, it goes from C to M. Let's just say we wanted it from descending. So we'll go DSC.
So, I have one more point here. When you are applying the order by concept, by default, it will give you data and ascending order. If you do not even write the ASC command, it will give you data and ascending order. Okay. But if you want it to be in descending order, then you need to specify it to be in descending order. And on whichever column you are applying your order by command, order by clause, that column has to be your select statement.
See, that's what she was talking about. So by default, if we wanted to order the last name, I mean, it's already by default ascending. So as y'all can see over here. So like Kalyani's comment was this: if we just did it, we wanted the last name to be made to, by default it's still ascending. But we have to remember to be specific to type in the column that we wanted. So that's already ascending from C to N. But if we wanted it descending, we have to be specific on that one. So we'll put.
You want to say which employee performed well in sales. You will have a commission or sales column, right? You can write the data set for sales.
And the column on which you are applying the order by has to be in your select state. So here in this case, for events asterisk, so it means all the columns which are present in the table are covered. And so you can apply the ascending on the last name. But if you don't give asterisk and don't mention last name in your select statement, it will show an error. That comma not.
So here's another example. We put, the asterisk represents all of the different columns of the table, right? Then we put from customer, but in this case, for any reason, we wanted it by the phone number. So we'll put order by, then phone. So it's from ascending order by default. So as you can see, 723, 723, 723. Then it gets much more specific as we go down. So at the ending, it's 8766, then it's 9877. Then so that's numerically, but it's going from ascending order. Do you have any questions on order by? Let's see. What if we wanted? Let's do some practice. We wanted. Oh, okay. We wanted to order by descending. Do descending order on total amount. What would we have to do? So let's just remember total amount is under the invoice table. So what do we do? Select. I'm not typing. So select. Okay. From invoice, and then order by. So we wanted it by total amount, right? So we'll type in total amount. So right now it's going to be in ascending order. So let's test it out. So as you can see, the total amount by default, we just do order by, then the column, it's going from ascending order, so 7 to 158. So if we wanted it from descending, type in, as you can see. Any questions? As y'all can see, it's very specific. If you forget, as I did before, not to include that specific column, wait, see, nothing's happening. So you have to specify exactly which column you want it from A to Z, or 1 to 100, or 100 to 1, ascending, descending. So that's one way to find out if we're not typing something correctly. We have to go back and proofread what we're typing in. Let's see. Okay, this was an example of using multiple things, as in we were incorporating the alias, the as, and we were doing the order by clause. So we can do an example right now Let me just see what other things we had. Oh, we'll do the order by, multiple things, then we'll go to where. That's going to be more specific. So let's say we'll do multiple things that we've learned today. So select, let's say for any reason your boss wants it to have all caps for first name. We'll type in first name. Then what do we have to type in? I mean, to make it where we're gonna change. Oh, for example, your boss wants first name to be all caps. What do we have to do? As, okay. So we'll put the double quotes. We'll put first name, double quotes. Then he wanted it, wanted the people that are going to show up in descending order. What do we have to do? From, wait. So from which table was this under? Customer. Then what do we have to do? Order by descending, for example. Okay, see, if you forget, it's not going to work. Let's just show it's not going to work. See, they have to specify, but you're going to put in the original name. Let me make sure, test it out. See, you can't reference the modified name that you've given it. You have to reference the original name, so that way it knows to use that column which you created an alias for. So as you can see, we can incorporate several reserved terms in one query. But we're now going to where. So where, okay, so for where we could use the equal sign. That means equal to, greater than, which means greater than, let's say you want greater than 100. So it's going to be everything from from 100 points 0.1 to infinity. This one over here, not equal to, is the less than sign and the greater than sign. The less than sign, which is a less than sign over here for the less than or equal to, the less than the equal sign. Or for the greater than, you'll put the greater than sign, then the equal sign. So for example, over here on the left-hand side, you wanted to find a client with the first name of Nikki. So you'll put, okay, we'll have the last name, first name, and phone records pulled up from this table, but where, that's when we type in more specifically, where the first name equals to Nikki for this example. Let's go to the workbench so we can practice it over here. So under, for example, over here in the result grid, we have Bruce. So let's do where our results are going to only show us Bruce. So we'll type in what? Select Bruce, Bruce is under first name, right? So do first name from where. We have to, for example, in this case, we want only for it to show Bruce. So we'll put the equal sign. Let me just make sure. It's not working, right? But we have to do. Okay, so what did I do wrong? Bruce. So what am I missing? First name, okay. From customer. Oh, where? See, that's what I always forget. I was trying to make a point that we have to be specific. We have to put in first name. Where first name equals Bruce. See? So always remember not to do the errors that I'm making. Always remember to put that specific column name that you're wanting to extract that information that you're wanting. So in this case was Bruce, but what if we wanted what other name was on that list? I think Brenda, right? Or Nikki. Let's just say, oh, let's practice with the greater than sign. So under total, let's see. It recognizes either the single quote or the double quote. But let's go to total amount. On the total amount column, we had, let me see the data range, the number range. Okay, so for example, we had 17, 6, you know, not this one, but okay, remember when we did descending order? Okay, let's just say we wanted quantities from the total amount that were greater than 25. So what do we have to, what exactly do we have to do? Let's go back to Workbench. Then the quantity that we wanting is under the total amount. So what do we have to do? So select, for example, the total amount. And where is that located? Let me make sure. It's under the invoice table, right? So what do we have to do? From invoice. Then where? And we just wanted everything greater than 25. So what do we have to type in after where? Total amount. Then we have to put the greater than sign. In this case, 25. You can also do the double quotes too. For example, MySQL recognizes both. Okay, let's test it out too. So like in this MySQL, it's very lenient, but in other databases, they're very strict on the SQL standard. On the ANSI, huh? Oh, okay. Let's do another example. What do y'all want to do? Let me see. Let's just say we wanted a customer number greater than 2. So the customer number is under which table? Invoice. Okay. So let's practice over here. Okay, so what do we do? Select customer number from, where was it at? From an invoice. Where customer number is greater than 2. So we could also put the single quotes around it. So do you have any questions right now? I know it's been a long section, but how do y'all feel now, right? At the moment with this information? I think it's very, in order to learn this, it's just practicing. The last couple of days I've been like practicing. I don't know if y'all have gotten to subqueries. I'm getting in trouble with subqueries. I'm still having issues with it, but if y'all have knowledge of subqueries, well, y'all can tutor me. Let's see. What did we? Oh, you could also multiply to, as long as it's a quantitative column. We can, for example, in this example, we did I did a quantity times unit price. So for that, we have to go under order by. Okay, so do you want to do that example? We still have 5 minutes, so we'll take advantage of it. So select, let's see, items, okay, quantity and unit price. Let's just say those two quantitative data. So we'll do select quantity, comma, what's after a comma? So unit price. Then we'll do from, and it's under the invoice. Then for this, we have to do order by. What? Wait. Oh, okay. See? Another error. As you can see, if you're careless, those aren't under that particular table, so nothing was going to happen. So it's the invoice item. And order by. So we'll do quantity, an asterisk, unit price. See if it's going to work. For some reason it's not, but we have to do.
It works, but it shows rank the data according to the new column.
Oh, then.
But it didn't show it before from. Anything before from will show up in the final result. If you type in after from, then it just will change.
Oh, okay. I know what I did. No, what did I?
What I mean is you should go with the quantity times unit price after unit price.
Let me see.
And then remove the and order by. Yeah, order by the new standard grade. Also after the even you need to have the text, right? As a new column, otherwise it doesn't show. It just produces as a standard.
Okay, for example, that's showing I could do multiplication. So as Dr. Han said, after the quantity, comma, unit price, you want to multiply two columns that are able to be multiplied. You'll put in this example, quantity, asterisk, unit price. Then you'll put from invoice item, then order by the operation that you wanted. So quantity times unit price. Then on the far right, you have this. But so let's just say we wanted to change the name of the column. We'll just type in over here as total amount. We'll just name it like that. Let's see if it's going to work. See, all these keywords can be used at once. So, how do y'all feel? It's just something that's like anything. The more you practice, the better you become. So, yeah, practice is going to make us be perfectionists. Perfect. Because perfectionist is another. Okay, that's another discussion. But as y'all can see, the more we practice, the better we become. Any suggestions, any questions, any comments, anything going through your mind right now? You're next.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for showing, for coming and
Before you go, before we conclude this section, I want to show you the job market for SQL specialists. Yeah, as you can see, Jose presents this fantastic lecture to everybody, right? It's very interesting to learn. Also, SQL is a very important skill. If I know it's a little bit early to introduce the job market to some of the classmates, of the members. Some of you just start the business analytics program, but I want to show you this information so you can raise your awareness of SQL job market, the opportunities in SQL. As you can see, we can perform data analysis for business. We can show total amount in sales, who perform well in sales, right? Very helpful, very handy. After tonight's lecture, please go to a website called dice.com. It's not for gambling.
Oh, no.
DICE.com.
It's a job board. I mean, just like Indeed,
Yeah.
Monster, what other, job, other job sites.
Right. If you want to learn how to gambling, you can download my app, my mobile app. I'll teach you in the, it's called a, yeah, you will learn how to play with the lotteries. Dice for IT professionals, the job seeking website for IT professionals. Of course, business analytics is part of IT, right? So if you want to look for internship, full-time position, you can go to dice.com, dice.com. Also, you can try out the other job-seeking website like Indeed.com, Monster.com. Those are for general job seeking. Dice is specifically designed for IT professional. So in the job title, type in SQL. And then in the location, for online student, if you are online, you can type in the city where you are at. For on-campus student, you can type in Dallas, and then choose the first one. The website last night. So the number of SQL jobs in Dallas-Fort Worth area was about 990. What is now? 986. So if you know SQL well, there are almost 1,000 available right now, are waiting for everyone right now. Yeah. So please, I want to introduce this information to everyone. You can be aware of the opportunity SQL. So some compare SQL to other skills. Let's say I want to go to Java programming. In the job title field, you type in Java, and then click Find Tech Jobs. How many? 682, right? Right. Some people say, I want to go to C++. How many? 146, right? Every skill, every IT skill is important, but there are more opportunities in SQL. Yeah, I want to introduce this information to everyone. Okay, now I think we can conclude tonight's lecture. For the online students, I wish you have a good night. For on-campus students, please stay. Please sign up so I can inform you when the next Friday, when it will be open, how we will broadcast next Friday, March 4th, 2016. We have the Mo will be the presenter.